Good morning, everybody. I want to begin with I love you. I love you unconditionally. Do you love you? Because being a loving person is hard. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do in life, ever. Today, we're going to talk about benevolence. What benevolence is, what does it mean, and we're going to actually define it. The definition of benevolence is to give freely of your heart. But it's little more than that. It's about doing fair by all around you. Meaning, so what is good for one must be good for all. It's about following rules. It's about following the situations that you set up for you, you must follow. So you're going to go through life and you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, fuck, I want to go back to the illusion. I see it. I understand it. I hear you. Um, the illusion is worse because now that you're awake and you know the consequences of not accepting your benevolence, or especially if you know that you're an angel, because that's what I'm talking to. I'm talking to people who are waking up and remembering that they're fucking angels, that they're archangels, and it's like, shit, oh my god, I ate meat, oh my god. Oh my god, I'm from Andromeda, oh my god, I haven't been living by these standards. I've been engulfing myself upon free will. How about that one? I think that's the true way to put it. So if you wake up and you remember you're an angel and you remember your duty is to hand over that free will back to the earth and go, okay, my test is done. I'm done with the lessons. I got it. Now we got to live side by side with the cruelty. And that's what today's about. So when you wake up, if you're older than 13 when you wake up, okay, you're going to go back to the 13 age. I say that because just as your puberty issue happens, that's when you're most vulnerable. And I would say that you're right back to completely vulnerable again. When you were 13, you loved everything and everybody. You didn't have disdain yet. That didn't come until high school, usually. Unless your parents really fucked you over. I'm really sorry about that, by the way. That was wrong on them. And I love you so much. Don't let this go on. My parents were beautiful. My parents were civil servants. My mother and my father gave to the emergency systems. I was at every parade, anywhere that EMS is at. They need somebody to communicate from space to space. That's my group. My group's amateur radio. We have walkies. We've got setups. We've always got a we've always got a one. I got mine. Yeah, little used. When you are epileptic and you've got it on your hip and you go down, it's taking a beating. I got myself this after I got my amateur extra. That this was mine. Get your amateur extra and you can have the FT2D Yesu, which is what my group uses. And it's all programmed. My group did that for me. So yeah, I was like, yay. I did it for my father. I'm not an Elmer. I got the test down. To actually build an antenna, I have not done. One day I will. I built them with my father all my life, but to do it all on my own, I would need help. I would need an Elmer. But so yeah, even now I do have the system set up, and if I need to, I could pull up and contact people I am behind a school, so if anything were to happen there, I could contact people right away. Um, but the whole idea is you understand you've got to be benevolent now. And you realize that you end up losing your friend group. And then you start looking for other people and you start looking for benevolence. And I've got to say, listen, I haven't found anybody like me yet. Y'all are going to be like me and loving. And those of you out there that are loving and experiencing this, oh man, they made me cry last night. I know it's hard. And I'd say I've been crying all morning. But you got to love people anyways. You got to be able to cry and walk away. Here's the thing. I can't go back there. I forced myself back into the situation. So I was there for volunteering a couple nights in a row, but the second time I was there, I didn't realize that the lights in the karaoke, they weren't really flashing. They were just there. But I guess because of the atmosphere, I don't know. But all of a sudden, you know how you start getting that pressure and all of a sudden you can't start seeing. Like when we were driving home, I was like, oh, look at the aura. I said, isn't that a nice, pretty orange blob? So I had an aura headache really bad. And we had to leave the building. And I would say that not only was it the lights, but I want to say it was the compounding of the alcohol. And I don't know how the alcohol is involved, but it's like we were there early and not many people were there and not many people were drinking because not many people were there. And then as people were shuffling in and getting drinks, I don't know. It's like all of a sudden the air got musty, thick, and the energy, the vibration. The vibration of the entire room dropped like a boom. And I was like, did anybody else feel this? Like, I even went to my husband. I said, did you feel that? And he's like, no. And I was like, nobody else felt this but me. And then the lights started bothering me. And well, I think they were messing with them. I think he was messing with it. And then, so I went in the other room and I sat down for a bit and then I was sitting there. And you know how it works is you start to get start seeing the aura. And then it's like immediately I'm like, okay, it's starting to go back to the head. That means we're headed for a headache. I got to get out because if I don't get out, we're going to puke and potentially, epileptic seizure. Now I want to say that the aura headache coming from the lights more of a peonies, but they're telling me that that's epilepsy. So, but so to explain my situation, I went working for the bad guys who killed, the cows. And because I did that, I got Q fever, but we didn't diagnose it. But from 2002, after the first stomach surgery, we start having all kinds of issues and we're declining in health and we're getting on. I am buying doctors' Porsches left and right. They saw me coming and boy, did they cha-ching on me. And so we get to a point where we're just so medicated that it ends up giving me thyroid cancer and I end up losing my thyroid. And then, of course, when you take all these cancer causing medications, of course, you end up with cancers. And then when you get this booby cancer scare, instead of doing a little autopsy or a little biopsy of the area to find out about that one node or whatever, instead they go and say, your mom died of cancer. You need to have them both removed. So you do. And you're like double mastectomy for no reason. Oh, yes. And then the surgeon, I ended up with 7 surgeries after that. I'm like, I bought somebody a French chateau. I guess somebody needed a new place. But guess what? It was 2020. He didn't get to enjoy his new chateau. He had to dig down. I like COVID because it made my doctor stay home, stop going on vacation with my money, and stop cutting me open. Gave me enough time to heal myself, and I ain't back. I am still picking stitches out of my scar at 6 years later. I don't know what to do. So life is going to throw it all at you. It's going to be harsh. It's going to be bad. I have been homeless. I going to be volunteering for an organization that helps people in homeless situations. If you are waking up, do not go to organizations that aren't helping them directly. You won't be happy with any group that's making money for them. You need to go help the charities they're making money for. I didn't know this. So the word benevolence, I talk about being a humble, benevolent servant of divine energy and how I've given up my free will and how I'm not allowed fame and I'm not allowed, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know the blah, blah, blah. But I live it. I don't just say it. I say it to remind myself of my duty and my code. Like the minute I'm getting upset, I start talking about, I am but a humble servant. Shut the fuck up. We can't Karen on this bitch. You know what I'm saying? You have to pull yourself back. That hate train, that negativity, that scream, that rah, 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 is so much easier because it's the natural and you've been doing it for years. But you don't need to continue it. You do need, however, a prayer. When it gets bad, I praise thee all, Divan Shakarita. I go through them all 15 chakras, line myself back up. Oh, praise the all, the Divan Shigarita, the Divan Shiga, the Divan Rita, Lord Ardal, Lord Samveta, Lord Erthal, Lord Goya, Lord Hurtus, Lord Goyana, Lord Untanis, Lord Elion, Lord Omnio, Lord Chito, and King Thoth of Earth. Thank you for my life, death, and birth. Knowledge, love, and reverence for all you teach, so we may appreciate mountain to beach. Let me sing your praises all night and all day, while my body rests for the next day's plate. Forgiving ourselves as we forgive them all, so we may receive our own forgiveness call. Kindness and consideration are a must. Let me always be just. Peace and tranquility throughout the land. Let my presence always be a loving stand. That is not a prayer. That is a reminder of who I am to always be. I hold myself to these standards. I hold myself to humility, because humility is the only way to gain wisdom and knowledge of everything. Nobody is better than anybody. I am no better than this camera, than this computer. I am no better than you. The only difference is I've given up free will and I've made this choice. I'm not better for it. I am different and in another situation. What goes on with you is between you and the divine. Again, everybody's truth is individual. That's why you can't throw people into this cookie cutter system they've created. It doesn't work that way. That's why it's blowing up. We have to build the world around our people. The way it used to be in the last Sati Yuga is the way it's gonna be. You're going to understand everybody has equality. Nobody has more than anybody else. That's not right. You're not allowed to hoard money. We joined a so-called benevolent organization that I don't see as benevolent. They're hoarding money. They're not giving to charities as much as I feel they should. In fact, I think that I think all these organizations right now, unless they're directly helping homeless and people and getting these real estate prices down, I just see it is a big BS trip. And so don't join organizations that are making money for charities. Help the charities directly. Most charities, more than anything, need people. They really do. They can get the stuff. You get enough people, bugging enough people to give, you'll get it. I know. I watched my mother. My mother raised millions of dollars for the Catholic. It makes me mad, kind of sick what my mom did for the church. She built 2 churches for them. And her plaque is off the wall. Her name is no longer on the buildings. How dare you do that? So that's why I know that the church is going to crush. The Catholic Church is crumbling. It will crumble. All churches will crumble because they are on a bed of lies. They don't truly live benevolent. In fact, I have yet to meet somebody as benevolent as me. I would love to. I would love. I know you're out there, but I also know that because of us being so rare, we'll never run across each other. It will always be in places where we are generating love out from us. And I know that where our love vibration to sync everybody to where it ends is where theirs ends. So I know we touch in that, and I know we're in the collective. And they know I exist, and I know they exist. And no, we're not to meet each other, because then that would leave a hole in an area that we can't afford. Just like whales keep a vibration for this earth, so do we. This is why I say the world will synchronize to love. When they do it, that's on the collective. That's on you. But if you don't realize, you got to start from within. You've got to love yourself. Love yourself so much that when somebody makes you feel uncomfortable, you go, wait a minute, why are we talking to me like this? Why are we doing this? And so I went and I volunteered. I got the headache. And then I came home. My husband went back and finished the volunteering. Then you guys know how this is. You fall off a horse, you got to get back on, right? You don't get upset, and you don't go, okay, I might have had a seizure, I might have thrown up. No, don't go back. No, we say, hey, epilepsy's not going to run our life. We're going to get back out there, and we're going to go at least play some pool tonight. We'll go at 4:00, so I won't be when the lights are going, because I won't be there when the band is there. We'll be gone. There was a little Magic and Pokemon card trading convention going on in the hall, and I kind of like that too. I got more love from that side than I did anywhere else. I love that. But there were people that knew I went home last night, because there's just 200 people plus all the people that work there and there was a bunch of people that were there, and they knew this, and none of them asked how was I or anything. And then the bartender the night before was, hi, when we came in, and the bartender this time wouldn't even make eye contact. And then when I went up to get drinks, and we had the pool table, my husband was working on the pool table, and I was going up there to get drinks. And she goes, don't sit there. And I was like, I'm not. And like, they don't want me back. I won't go back. I get it. I didn't know they hated me so much. Wow. I don't know what I've done. I hate to say this, but I understand people talk about how people shun people who are overweight or do things to people who are overweight. And in 2026, why is everybody treating me so horrible? I'm not the only skinny girl in there. My son, this was my son's reasoning. He said, Mom, you're going to go in there and be you, and you're going to intimidate all of them. They're all going to think that you're trying to take their position. And I'm like, God, that's the last thing I just want to be a worker bee. And he's like, they don't know that. Everything my kid said just happened. Just happened. I literally this morning woke up and was like, you know what, kid? Thanks a lot, son. Fuck you. He's like, Mom, I'm sorry, but I know you and I know people. And it's like, my kid has been out of the house a lot less than me. He is 39 and been in that room, and that kid knows more about people than me. But that's because he deals with the gaming world. So he deals with a lot of people. He raids with a lot of people. He has a lot of games he plays. He has a lot of, yeah. And he even says he has a hard time with women. I don't know what's happened to women. I don't comprehend what's going on in this place. I don't understand. I don't understand why human beings. Now, I get it. Most of these are boomers. Most of these are Gen X and boomers. I will say this: any and every millennial or anybody else, y'all treat me so good. I love y'all so much. Thank you. Literally, I'm ready to cry. So I walked out of the bar area and went over to the trading cart, and I was looking at. She's probably 18, 19 years old. I was like, "Oh, girl, I got a bet." I said, "Why are these women so mean? I know I don't drink alcohol. I don't understand it. I can't. It drops your vibration." I said, "But," I told her, I went home sick last night. I said, "I came back because, you fall off the horse, you got to get back on because, gamer nerd girl her don't like leaving the house. We're trying to force it." She looked at me, she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "But," I said, "the women don't ask me how I was or how I am or anything. And they're treating me mean." I said, "We were going to play." I said, "We only played 2 games. We left. I'm uncomfortable." Okay, they don't want me here. And so I said, and then my husband got us into the card game thing so I could go around and look at the Pokemon cards. Because y'all know I play Pokemon Cobblemon in Minecraft. That's why I was telling them I play Cobblemon in Minecraft. And I was going, I saw kids, I was like, "God, I just love you guys." And these guys had big witch hats. And I looked at, I said, they were doing magic cards. I said, "You guys, I love you guys. You're going to love this." I said, when my kid was growing up, when I married my husband, my ex-husband, I didn't need the money he gave me. He gave me such little money, $250. It was like nothing. We had money back then. My husband worked for a really good job. And so I would turn around and I just give JJ that check and let him go buy magic cards. Made my ex so mad. I just deposited the money and said, "Here, this is yours." I mean, everything else was taken care of. But he played magic at school through 2000 to 2005, and I had to go down to school and fight with the school and say, "Listen, he's not doing drugs. They're playing cards during lunch. Let him." I fought for it, and they did. They finally let him play magic during lunch. If they're not letting him play magic during lunch today, what are you doing? Do you want the kids to be in gangs? Do you want them to go out and get in trouble? You guys, boomers, Gen X's, you guys do know you didn't give these kids any place to go. You took away our parks. You closed them up at night. You're policing everything. You don't let the kids go out and do anything. So they've got magic, and now you won't let them play the cards in school. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop bossing these kids around. That's not what it's about. You're supposed to be equal to these kids. You're supposed to be bringing them up in love. You future kids, I know you guys do it. I know you get the future to do this. I know this is it. I've already seen your costumes. I've already seen the way you do things. I love you guys. Thank you. Caring is sharing. Sharing is caring. That's what I'm doing. I'm sharing knowledge because I care. I love. I want you guys to see this and what's going on. Today is Mars Aries 2nd, 42,200. I love you all, but it's difficult. If you're waking up, the world is cruel. But there's a lesson there for you. For me, it was I had no business being there. I have no business being in a bar. So what if it's a club? So what if they do charity? Doesn't matter. I have no business being around gambling. I don't believe in it. I don't particularly care too much for the monetary thing. Money, you know me. If I'm a retail person, like a thrift store or something, that's one thing. Somebody's getting something. That's okay. But alcohol, it's been 26 years since I really drank. I with all my illnesses, you can't. It's an atmosphere that's not friendly for kids, and I want to be exposed to kids. I love you guys. So now I'm going to go to an organization that works directly with the crisis help and emergency type stuff. So more money. They're going to hurt me and I'm going to cry. I'm expecting that. I expect that because these people are going to be hurting. They're going to be bleeding out. But the difference is I'm going to understand these people because I've been homeless. I've lived in people's basements with my child. I've lived from state to state trying to make bill and not succeeding until I got married. Literally. Having very bad things happen at my jobs to the point where even I don't know how I lost the lawsuit. I mean, the R kits was there, but nobody wanted to spend. They wouldn't spend the money to test it. Like, what was the purpose of going to ER and getting the R kit if Tennessee wasn't actually going to use it? And then you stuck me 6 months without being able to work in my own industry of web design. Well, what? You guys know I got 5 websites. You know, that's what I did. I ended up working for a podiatrist. I ended up going from making $400 a week to making $125 a week, and we lived in somebody's basement. And if it wasn't for the emergency systems that were set in place in Tennessee, my son wouldn't have had clothes for school. We wouldn't have had food. So now I'm in a great position. And I'm going to give back to these people who gave to me in another state type thing. I mean, each ones are different, but so if you're waking up and you're wanting to join something to give, I suggest do not join the places that give money to charities. Go directly to the charities because the vibration is going to be off. You're going to see how much they keep versus how much they give, and you're like, what? No. Okay. We go to charity now. Benevolence is going to be in your bones. You're angelic. You're coming from the order of Melchizedek. And we are all flame, which means you're going to have a potty mouth for a minute because the world is potty mouth. Unfortunately, the world doesn't know any other words. I understand they're out there and people are like, well, if you say fuck you. Okay? These words are fucking words for a fucking reason. And the reason why we say fuck is because we've got the flame in us. I can't stand the word holy. This bullshit that people don't get mad, they don't curse, they don't get upset, they don't slam is bullshit. I was hurt last night. You claim to be benevolent, you claim to care, but you only care while I'm giving? And the moment I tell you guys I can't give because I don't like what's going on here, you turn around and do this? What? I don't know what's going on here. It's over here. It's here. It's right here. I know I got a green screen. I'm being very raw today. I thought I'd come in right after the cry instead of taking time to mellow out because you guys need to see it's hard. It's really hard and it hurts. But you got to go home and you got to make your home your haven. You got to make sure nobody can affect you when you're there. Meaning, I've shucked it. I've now explained to you they don't mean to. They don't know. They don't understand how they don't understand hypocritical they are. How hypocritical they are. I don't want to slam them for all the things that I see wrong because, like I said, I see every little nuance, and I don't want to, but that's because I have to. But instead, I say just don't do that. Go straight to the charity and actually give time and money straight to them. Because giving money to the organizations that give charity, all you're paying for is their opulence and their hierarchy and their pins. We're not in this for that. That's not what we're in here for. In fact, we're not allowed accolades. They keep writing my hours down, and I keep telling them, no. That's not how we work. Do you understand this? And then if we were counting hours, I would always weigh the least amount and not overthrow. And so the games and the illusions that are involved in organizations that are giving to charities may not sit well with you. So that's why I say go straight to the charities. And this is difficult. So because I know you're staying away from the religious side of stuff. But here's an idea. If the charity is helping them directly and giving clothes and giving things directly to these beings, go work for them. Anything else? Buyer beware, discretion, all that good stuff. Just, we've been through, well, I've got to say, my husband has always, and will stay with that organization. He's fine with that. That's fine for him. Not for me. And if you're angelic, it won't work for you. Because as an angelic, you need to make sure that these people are being helped. You're like me screaming, why isn't there eminent domain? House them all right now. Stop what you're doing to these people. And we can't. So meanwhile, get involved with, find out. So that way, if you do run across somebody homeless, you can say, hey, you can go here. Hey, you can do that. It helps to have stuff in your pocket to be able to help people when all you want to do is help people. Because when you wake up, you realize you're nothing but a humble, benevolent servant of the divine energy, and you're here to help bring forth this love into today's time period. And I may be the first, but I will not be the only. So these videos are out here for people to realize. Just because other people screw up benevolence does not mean you need to. Is my hair supposed to be green or something? I don't even understand why I've got right here. I put my hand here, we don't have it. I think my hair. Get rid of the hair. There we go. Get rid of the hair. We'll get rid of that. I think my hair looks green. So the idea is, or maybe I turned it more into black. So if we've got the black hair, it's going to turn green. The idea is to figure out what's going to fit you. Understand that waking up means you may lose all your friends. You will have to spend some time alone. And if you're an archangel, you will go through initiation. And that might have you buckled over for a few days. I would say initiation, it feels like COVID without the smell and head stuff, but the body stuff for sure. Well, at least the one part, you'll know what I'm talking about. The one section where you're buried alive. Yeah, that little. These initiations are rough. The Enoch, go read the story of Enoch and you'll know what I'm talking about with initiations. The story of Enoch is just the initiation for archangels. When they're in avatar form, their higher self and their avatar will have to walk through the initiation together when the avatar wakes up. So you have to understand, we are an avatar, and then we have our higher self. And there comes a period where your avatar wakes up. And when your avatar wakes up, you and your higher self, you realize where you're at. And when I woke up, we were down here, all kind of full of ourselves. Remember, told you I used to be like a little, like with Karen on people. I'd freak out on people because I learned to react versus crying, because people didn't react to crying better than they react to fuck you. But I didn't really Karen because I didn't jump your case. I'm just fuck you and walk away. I don't know what you want to call that. Just fuck off. That's my. Everybody hates that, but yeah, that's my thing. And my dad's was always bullshit. And mine's fuck off. But that's because you get to a point you just can't tolerate the lies. And I get it because my father had read too much. And I used to say that, yeah, don't mind him. He's read too much, therefore he knows not what he does. And now I read too much. And I freak out. I know not what I do. And this is how this works, because you have to understand that as a light being, you are confused. You still have the illusion and the programming, and you have to deprogram yourself. And you're the only one that could do this. This is why you isolate. This is why you're not around friends. Because I even considered, well, maybe I have a drink and maybe I'll feel better about them being cruel to me. No, that doesn't work that way. You can't like, and I think I'm strong, and I'm not, because I consider that even after making the video being against alcohol, and then I consider, well, maybe if I do it with them, they'll like me better. No, we don't do that. We may be 13, but we're not going to go back down the road we did in school. You see what I'm saying? I I mean, it's insane to think that the world will not conform to us unless we force it to. But at the same time, I'm not going to go force an organization to conform to me because they claim benevolence. I'm going to walk away and say, you're not benevolent. You're not. You can't do what you do and be benevolent. It doesn't work that way. There are rules. And giving freely of your heart means you can't do the things you do. And that's hard for me. And then them not accepting that, I won't join a fraternity, because if a female joins a fraternity, it means they're going to become fraternal, and that means they become bastards. And guess what? Oh my God. The incoming won't even talk to me. These people absolutely do not like us, and they're shunning us in I don't know how in the hell this place even builds. I actually foresee the downfall of these organizations because of this ignorance and the opulence and the hierarchy. You know what? The future kids don't give a fuck about your pens. They don't give a fuck about your badges. They don't give a fuck about war. They don't give a fuck about fighting. They don't give a fuck about politics. All they give a fuck about is humanity and earth, love, the 7 principles, understanding how to help thy neighbor, how to love thy neighbor, how to love everybody as you love yourself. I don't know. I think I just saw boomer opulence out of control, and I see Gen Xers and millennials falling in suit with these people. How dare you bring your alcoholism onto your children like that? That's all I could see. Yeah, I have a problem with the gambling. I have a problem. Why in the hell did I think we could do this? Oh, I'm an idiot. So think. I did it. I jumped out into a group that had a bar and had bingo. My bad. I didn't know. I did not know I was going to feel the vibration of every human being in that room drop when they all had drinks in them. It made me sick. It dropped my stomach. I'm just like, what happened? I literally asked my husband, did you feel that? He's like, what? And I'm like, it almost felt like an earthquake. It almost felt like the ground dropped. Like it just was so like, oh. And then the egos. No, I got this. No, you just stay over here. It was like, why did I come in at 5 o'clock if you had me sit in the corner till 7? Like, what? I could have come in at 6. I got dogs. Dogs that beat the shit out of me when I come home. Bite me. And he's my protector. He's from Michael, and he's supposed to be around me, and I can't take him around me because he'll bite people who look at me wrong, which everybody does. I don't think I'm that pretty. I'm just an average. In fact, I think I look like my Auntie Pat. And I think my Auntie Pat looks like a little gnome. A little, oh no, little leprechaun because we're Irish. I got the leprechaun. I got I got Uncle Mike's face. I used to tease my Uncle Mike of Uncle Mike Morrison because he had droops. And he drooped and he was really short. And I was short. And he was short. I was a teenager. I was 3 foot something. He was like 3'5". He was short. And he was droopy. And I used to tease him. And I'm like, now I feel like I look like him. But I feel honored because I can't find any paperwork on it, but I know that my Uncle Mike Morrison, he actually, when I visited him, the nice thing about visiting him was he always gave me books because you go in his house, right? He had, he was up in Massachusetts and he had, these big colonial style houses because my family's from New England, at my big, beautiful colonial style house. And when you walk in, you walk through this path because there were stacks of books, children's books everywhere throughout the book. He was part of the read program. So when kids in the state of Massachusetts sent in the card to get a free book, he'd fill it out and send it out. And I got to sit there and fill them out and say, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Like my family are some amazing people. And like I said, civil servants. Civil servants. I had one family that wrote the Ligorian for the Catholics. And it's all about giving back. It's who we are. It's in our DNA. And your DNA has it too somewhere. Somewhere it's been lost and bastardized by the illusion. But you've woken up. That's why you're here. But you need to know you got to have respect for those still in the illusion. And you can't push waking up. Let me say that again. You can't push waking up. You can say things like you need to wake up and walk away. You can plant the seed of something is wrong in your mind because you believe in this illusion. When you come to a certain point of full understanding where I have gotten, of course, I couldn't do any of this without my son. My son says he doesn't believe in my beliefs, yet he fully understands me because he engulfs himself in my beliefs in order to understand me. And then he has his belief system. And I've engulfed myself into his belief system. And I fully understand him. That's the Socratic method. That's what we do. My son is my best friend. And I respect his choices in life. They're not the choices I would have made for him, but I wasn't him, was I? Wasn't my choice. Once upon a time, he did try to blame me for some of his choices. And I said, no, we don't go there. You still had your choice. He's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so we don't get to blame mom because mom always gave you the choice. But once he went internal with that, instead of trying to blame external, it went internal and accepted his choices. That's what it's all about. Yeah, you may have made some really bad choices. Yeah, you might have helped the fucking beef industry keep killing cattle by helping out Y2K. You're going to suffer a bardo from hell because of it. And I accept it. I let them cows beat me up and eat me. I deserve it. I did eat them. I had no right. Doesn't matter that I didn't know. See, that's the thing. Ignorance does not absolve you of penance. It don't work that way. I'm a divine being. I'm an archangel. And I'm super wicked smart, wicked genius. Because of that, I did do 3 men's job. I did do a lot more than any one human could do. But that's my gift. My son keeps saying I'd probably be considered autistic, but I don't think so because I kind of reserve that for a smarter group than me. So, and I understand because if I was any smarter than I am, I don't think I could function in this society. I don't think I could function off the energies that are around here. Ask anybody who deals with real autistic children who have disabled functions of communication. They'll tell you that these children work off energies and you act all certain ways or whatever. There's going to be issues because they can't handle it. And I understand that because my nervous system, we were halfway through the second game and I wanted to throw the balls in the corner and throw the lid on and go, we need to go. I did finally, when the game was over, we went to sit down. Dean still had half a drink. I made him chug that drink because I'm like, we need to go. And he's like, I didn't know we need to go right now. I said, no, we need to go right now. Because if we were there any longer, I would have cried for these women. And I felt like that would have made them win. I feel like they wanted to make me feel insecure and cry and not want to go back to their place. They did a damn good job at it. Note taken. Got it all wrote down. Don't want me. Don't want me there. Okay. Kitchen don't want me there. Bartender don't want me there. Okay. Leader of the group don't want me there. Check. Got it. Heard it. Not going back. We'll go somewhere else. All right. Wow. So just know, if this happens to you, it's okay. Forgive them. Have your fit. Scream it out in the pillow. Don't take it out on them. Revenge. Don't hold it in. Don't just let it all out. But if anybody asks me, I'm going to tell them straight up about this group because this was my experience. I'm never going to see what other people see. You are never going to see what other people see. That's why I don't have comments on here. I am not about to sit here and be drugged down. I don't give a fuck about the negative bullshit in this world. I don't. I go to negativity, to the illusion, to you making me feel some sort of kind of way. I'm allowed to cry. I'm allowed to let it out. I'm allowed to vent, and then I move on. The little girl last night at the TRC, beautiful girl. Love these women. And one even came out when I was walking. I said, let me just go in here. I said, I know I don't have a ticket. I don't want to walk through. I just want to absorb the energy of the young'uns. Because they were all happy and loving. And I am so proud of you guys for not indulging in alcohol like that. I am so proud of you. And those that are touching alcohol, it rots the soul. No. Jesus never touched wine. Yeah, the lies. The wine is to keep you numb and keep your vibration controllable. The alcohol is to keep you controllable. The government can control you better with alcohol. If they don't control you with alcohol, they'll get the pharmaceutical companies to put you on Zoloft to control you. Every antidepressant is not an antidepressant. Every one of these psych meds don't do anything. I'm sorry, they don't. And I hear people say, oh, they're going to get off it and they're going to. No, it's the world's cruelty. I've been on them all. I know what I'm talking about. You guys tried to numb me out because you didn't like me crying. At 18 years old, my gynecologist made me cry and he put me on Pamelor. You had no fucking right. None. And medical, fuck all of you medical doctors. Who the fuck are you to say there's something wrong with us? No, there's something fucking wrong with you because you don't see us as normal. Every human being is different. Every human being is individual. Everything is normal. There is nothing abnormal. No such thing as retarded. Doesn't exist. Retardation is when you put something down on something else. It's what they do to roads. That's what that is. It's a lie. Nobody has mental illness. The people who come up with mental illnesses are the mental illness. You know what, babies? You smelt it, you dealt it. You claim psychotic, you are psychotic. You claim psychopath, you are psychopath. Look at Freud, he wasn't psychopathic. If you don't have reverence for the all, the Divan Shigarita, the Divan Shiga, the Divan Sharita, Lord Ardal, Lord Samveta, Lord Erthal, Lord Goyana, Lord Cortes, Lord Untanes, Lord Elion, Lord Omnio, Lord Chito, and King Thoth. And if you're not thankful for your life, death, and birth to these beings, then you ain't in touch with your soul and you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Period. You don't. My body has been freaking out since the first bingo I did. Didn't know why. Seriously been on the verge of a seizure until I realized I can't do that and signed up for the other group, because if we aren't giving directly to the source that is helping people, we have to touch the people. We have to love people. And money is not love. Money, the dollar, is actual bad, evil energy. It really is. That's why I try so hard to stay away from it. That's why anytime I've had it, it's been a bad situation. I don't like it. That's why I like that I've got men that take care of me. Between my husband and my son, I know I'm always taken care of. I don't need to worry. That's the life I've got. But just know, you're going to have to build your life around the new you. Be prepared for that. Be prepared to change your living room. Be prepared to live in a mess if that's what makes you feel better. Right now, whatever you need in your home to be comfortable. And I'm going to suggest, don't invite people to your house. I'm going to say that again. Don't invite people to your house. Meet in a general location. Go and give. Keep your home sacred. Because when people come into your house and hurt your feelings, because we used to do that. I had somebody coming here and call my house a hoarder house. I had just got done with 7 surgeries, barely able to get up, just remembered all the horrible things, was going through all my CPTSD, everything my brothers had done to me, everything, especially when he got popped and went to jail. And then, your pictures of you are now in an FBI file, which from what I'm seeing, probably being used again out there in the market, because I do believe the government's using all the CP that they get, and I do believe that they're selling it for money, because I don't trust anything that this disgusting government does, because I believe they're a organized crime, but without actual ethics. That I have more respect for organized crime than I do our government. I know my first husband was an organized crime, and they took care of their families and their people a hell of a lot better than the government takes care of us. Why? Why is this a fact? Why is it a fact that the mob takes care of their people better than the government takes care of theirs? Yeah. You say, oh, but the mob kills people to get... What the fuck is the government doing? Except the mob kind of has honor amongst thieves. I know y'all's code. Y'all got code. Politicians, they ain't got code. What the fuck? Again, I have more respect for organized crime than I do for governments. Because government is organized crime. At least ours is. It's crazy. But it's also what's waking people up. This is what had to happen. Don't you understand? They're hiding the Sati Yuga from you. They think that it's not happening. Yet people are being drained. People are waking up. People are going, I can't take this anymore. But as long as you're behind that alcohol, you're in the illusion. You're in the illusion forever. And I can't have anything to do with anybody that has anything to do with alcohol or gambling. Those are illusion breeders. This was, or is, your daily dose of love. Today, on Mars Aries 2nd, 42,200. Wait. No, today is Sunday. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so what that tells you, okay, is Saturday was technically Sunday. This was the point. Yesterday was Mars 1st, Mars Aries 1st. So that means every Friday is now Sabbath. So make sure that If you do anything on Friday, you need to consider Earth, and it needs to be about Earth and to center your chakras and about you. That's what Sabbath is about. Sabbath is about listening to your inner higher self, about aligning yourself with the earth, the divine, and listening to all the beings that need to set you up for the week. And then another cute little thing is if in the morning, before you get out of bed, you run through your head everything you're going to do for the day. And then at night when you lay down and you go through your day, you'll see all the angel blessings and all the angel kisses you got through the day. Anything that was a cute little surprise, you'll see, oh, I wasn't expecting that, and I got that. You'll see it. But if you're not waking up and setting your day up in your mind and then going back and reflecting on your day, then you'll never see how many miracles a day are happening in your life. Go check it out. I love you guys. Have a beautiful day. And always be kind to everybody. You know what anybody's going through, but we can all be kind and loving at all times.